Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is the wife of Attorney General Bill Lockyer, who elected not to be here by virtue of the fact that he is investigating this voter hate crime mailer. As a result, he has sent his beautiful and lovely wife, Nadia Davis Lockyer, formerly a member of the Orange Santa Ana School Board. Nadia, come on up here.
As the spouse of our esteemed Attorney General Bill Lockyer, I am here to assure you that Bill Lockyer and our State Department of Justice will continue to ethically, thoroughly, and in a just manner investigate and prosecute the situation. His office has investigators out right now. They are doing an ethical, thorough job. You will hear from them soon. I also come here as Nadia Davis, as a woman and lawyer from this community. Personally, I come to urge every individual and organization that is here to effectively unite, to ensure that the undeniable value of our immigrant community is never disrespected again. How on earth did any individual think that they could do this again? How on earth, after the poll guards, after Loretta Sanchez was accused of voter fraud, did anybody think for a second that that could happen again? It is up to us and the community. I challenge everyone standing behind me and myself to ensure that no one thinks that they can do this again. We cannot allow a Chapter 4 in the book of violating Latino voting rights to be written. That's my challenge to you, and I will be there next to you to ensure that that never happens again. Thank you.
Thank you, Nadia. Our next speaker is the gentleman who currently holds the 69th Assembly District position, the Democrat that is termed out, so to speak, from the Assembly because this is his third term. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Umberg.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming today. Many years ago, right here in Santa Ana, there were people dressed as police officers posted in polling places with signs that said non-citizens may not vote, asking for proof of citizenship before those who are legally registered could vote. That was in 1988. In 1990, a lesson was taught to those responsible, because those that were responsible, they actually won the election, lost the election. I was elected to the state assembly. That lesson's now been forgotten, because we're back here again revisiting the same issues all over again. Ladies and gentlemen, if this were Afghanistan or Iraq and someone were interfering with democracy, the entire country would be outraged. The entire country would be outraged because of the blood and treasure that we've spent there trying to export democracy to other lands. We can look very close to home. We can look right here in Orange County for issues that affect democracy. This is not about Democrats or Republicans. This is not about an individual candidate. This is about ensuring that we here in the United States, we here in Orange County, preserve and protect our most precious possession, the right to vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom. Our next speaker is somebody we absolutely need to bring into statewide office. If you take a look at the present Secretary of State's action on this, you would have to look awfully hard because there has been none. This is the gentleman that is allegedly in charge of getting out the vote and prosecuting people. He has done nothing with reference to the 500 complaints that we have filed in his office about Democrats being switched to Republicans without their knowledge. He has done nothing to correct the misnomers contained in the Tan Nguyen letter. Ladies and gentlemen, a great state senator and our next Secretary of State, one that will do some good, Deborah Bowen.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. It is so important for us to be here. The kind of shenanigans that are going on here must never, never be allowed in the United States of America. We are talking about interference with the right of legal United States citizens to exercise their constitutionally guaranteed right to vote. And as Frank Barbero points out, this is not the first time in Orange County this year. In February, 500 complaints were filed with the Secretary of State's office that Democratic registrations were changed to the Republican Party. And has the Secretary of State completed that investigation after 8 months? No. No action has been taken. What he did do is enter into an agreement with the Bush administration last November to require an exact match between the voter registration database and a voter registration card. And that meant that voters who might have a space in a surname like Suhu or De La Torre did not get put on the voter registration rolls. 26% of people who registered in this state in January, February, and early March did not go on the voter registration rolls. And that responsibility lies directly at the feet of the current Secretary of State. The Secretary of State must be an advocate for every eligible voter, must make sure that there's no red tape placed between the right of a voter to register, to actually get to a polling place, and then to have their vote counted as it was cast. And Phil, thank you for reminding us how important that real estate is. If a voter votes and their vote's not counted as they intended it to, then they have lost their right to vote. So as your next Secretary of State, I'm going to make sure that every eligible voter is registered, can cast a ballot without standing in line for a long time, as we saw in Ohio in 2004, and has their vote counted as it was cast. And we're going to make sure that happens right here in Orange County. Thank you.
We are absolutely delighted to have our next speaker here, especially standing on the podium this morning. This is a gentleman who is the controller of the state of California. The state of California is the 6th largest economy in the United States. In the world. And he is the one that manages that for us. Ladies and gentlemen, you are sitting in Orange County right now. 1 out of every 100 Americans alive today lives in Orange County. We are the 8th largest metropolitan area in the United States. And now I'd like to introduce our friend, the controller of the state of California, Steve Wesley.
Thank you. I'm proud to be standing here with Governor-to-be Phil Angelides, with Secretary of State-to-be Deborah Bowen, and an extraordinary group of Democratic leaders. I'm batting cleanup today, and I'm just going to hit 3 very quick points. First, what makes me proudest to be an American is that we are not a country that was founded on ethnic strife or religious wars. We are a country that was founded on a single principle, that everybody, no matter where you come from, should have a right to vote. That is what this election is about. Second, if California can show the rest of the country, and in fact the world, anything, it's that the immigrant population in this state is our greatest asset. 1 out of 4 Californians lives in an immigrant household. My father grew up in the Philippines. My wife was born and grew up in China, both of the humblest circumstances, but came to this country to be hugely successful, to give back. In fact, this is the California dream. This is what we fight for in California. And third, this is a great election. Just 2 weeks from tomorrow, we will go out as a nation state to decide whether we're going to have a new generation of leadership like Phil Angelides, whether we're going to reinvest in schools and roads and bridges to make this state great. I think the best way to honor our founding fathers, the best way to respect our children, is to make sure that every Californian gets out to vote. Can I count on you to do that? Thank you for coming out today. Let's get every Californian to the polls and to win on November 7th. Thank
you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are all going forward from today to protect the vote. We are going to go forward and make sure that every legitimate person who has the right to vote in this county is not afraid to go to the polls, but will show up and exercise that which our founding fathers and that which so many hundreds of thousands of men and women now have died for, the right to vote in the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for your attendance. I want to thank all of the people up here for being here today. This was, as you know, considerably difficult for changing schedules and all of that, but you can see how each one of the individuals here today has prioritized this problem here in Orange County. Please vote, and please go forward and make sure that everybody does it with their head high and without any fear or intimidation. Thank you all very much.